You've heard this line 1,000 times, right? In movies, on TV, probably as a joke somewhere. To be or not to be. It is, without a doubt, the most famous question in all of literature. But what if I told you that the image we all have in our heads, the prince, the skull, all the drama, is actually masking a deep human struggle that most of us totally misunderstand? Yeah, let's unpack the real story behind these words.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Just hearing it, you can feel the history, right? Over 400 years of it. It comes from Shakespeare's play, Hamlet, and it's delivered by a prince who has been pushed to his absolute, and I mean absolute, breaking point.
But what is he actually asking? This isn't just some fancy, famous phrase. No, it's a raw, unfiltered peek into a mind that is being completely torn apart by grief and indecision. And we're about to see just how deep that struggle really goes.
Okay, first things first. Let's just cut through all the Shakespearean English and get right to the heart of it. In plain, simple language, what is the fundamental question that Hamlet is asking himself?
At its core, it's this. Is it better to be alive and just endure relentless, non-stop pain, or is it better to die and make all that suffering stop? It's a seriously heavy question about the value of your life when that life is just filled with misery. Now, to really get why he's asking this, we have to understand his situation. I mean, this isn't some abstract philosophical thought experiment for Hamlet. His entire world has been turned completely upside down.
Just try to imagine this for a second. Your father, who's the king, dies. Then, like almost immediately, your mom marries your uncle, and he takes the throne. And if that's not messed up enough, your father's ghost shows up and tells you he was murdered by your uncle, the new king. This is the absolute nightmare Hamlet is living in. He's grieving, he's totally alone, and now he's been told he has to avenge his father's murder.
So, this brings us right to the heart of this famous speech. Hamlet is weighing two absolutely terrible options, and he's just trying to figure out which path is the lesser of two evils.
So on one hand, he can choose to be, to live. But that means he has to suffer what he calls the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, which is just a really poetic way of saying all the relentless pain and injustice that life is throwing at him. Then, on the other hand, he can choose not to be, to die. But that means stepping into the complete and total unknown.
And this right here, this is the real reason he's hesitating. It's not that he wants to live. Not really. It's that he is terrified of what comes after death. He calls it the undiscovered country, a place that no one has ever come back from to tell us about. And that fear of the unknown is so powerful it puzzles the will. It basically paralyzes him.
So how does a 17th century prince's problem become something we all can relate to? Well, it's because this speech isn't just about Hamlet's choice. It's about a kind of choice that we all face in some way or another. It's about us.
I mean, think about it. The heavy burden of a huge decision, the fear of what you can't predict, that feeling of being at war with yourself, trying to find some kind of meaning when everything just hurts, and of course, getting so stuck in your own head that you can't move. These are universal human experiences. This is why we are still talking about Hamlet hundreds of years later.
It really just boils down to the ultimate rock and a hard place dilemma, doesn't it? Do you stay with the pain you know, or do you take a leap into a total mystery that, well, it could be better, or it could be infinitely worse?
So what does this ancient question really have to do with us? Let's bring it into our world, right here and now, and see how it echoes in our own lives.
Have you ever had to make a huge decision about a job, a relationship, moving somewhere new, where every single path forward just seemed terrifying? Where staying put was painful, but the fear of what might happen if you changed things was just paralyzing? That feeling, right there, that's Hamlet's dilemma.
And I think what Hamlet really teaches us here is that this deep, internal conflict, this struggle with life's biggest, hardest questions, it's not a flaw. It doesn't make you weak. It's a fundamental part of being human. It means you're thoughtful, you're grappling with life, you are truly alive.
So I'll give you with this thought. Hamlet's question was about whether life's pain was worth putting up with. Let's try to reframe that for today. What struggles, what slings and arrows are you willing to face for the things that give your life meaning and purpose? Now that's a question worth thinking about.